I was hitting the ball flush on the driving range, man, and I haven't taken a shot since. But that was 2 hours ago.
I am and like 7 cigarettes ago.
Yeah.
I am
8 to be exact.
I am scoping the range right now.
The cars.
And yeah, they're both of them are right in front of me.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I was paying a little extra close attention to you, but I think in terms of just practicing on the range, you look better than most anyone I've seen out here.
I appreciate it. I was hitting it so well on the range. Like, listen, if I'm on, I'll have a good round. Like, we'll be fine. It's, it just comes and goes for me. But I was hitting. Here's a key to me having a good round. If I'm hitting my 7-iron well, which I was on the range, there's a good chance I'll have a good round.
I envy you because I have a fair amount of imposter syndrome going on right now.
Right.
I don't feel like I belong out here.
Okay.
There's just, we're talking upper echelon. There's some of the most famous people in the world out here.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid to look at folks. Yeah. And I'm not usually that kind of guy, but it's just so overwhelming. All of it.
Right.
The beauty, the vistas, the pants.
Yeah.
The cars.
Yeah.
There is a lot going on right now.
And so what do you envy? The fact that I just stroll right through the range like without a care in the world?
The dude that I envy, honestly, last night when we were at the players only meeting, there's a couple people that just know how to work a room, and it's not really surprising, but I'm just so jealous every time I see him in action is David Wells.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, Boomer.
I actually just talked to him. We should get him in a few minutes. He said he's in the zone right now. He's chipping. He wants to go get a quick bite, but he's going to come back over here after that, so we should get...
Just talk to him about working a room, right?
Yeah.
There's 2 tips that I desperately need from just being out here on the range. I need David Wells to teach me how to work a room, and I need David Carr to teach me how to get so vascular. Because
maybe I can make both those happen. You want me to go get David Carr?
Ask him. Yeah. Okay. I don't think he gets that often, too, just where he's standing next to Derek. We're in Raiders country.
Get Derek, too,
here.
while you're at it, Chris.
Yeah, well... I actually have more questions for David right now.
Do you really?
Yeah, like question number 1. If you walk across a sharp counter and it snags you, does the blood just shoot out like a fire hose?
Okay.
Because you are so vascular.
That'd be a great question.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go for Derek Carr. We're going to go for David Carr.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan
thought David Carr, right?
Dan thought David Carr was
going to be the greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah. And if it wasn't for that offensive line, he might have been right. Very clearly I have some good genes. Chris Cody just went up to David Carr, shook his hand. Nice little pleasant exchange.
I think he's coming over.
But Chris is walking back, and David Carr isn't.
Right.
He is smiling. No, we're not feeling good about it.
Lukewarm. See, he's walking back empty-handed. This guy.
We can't attempt to wrangle
live on air
before we talk to David Wells.
I want to teach Chris how to wrangle. You have to just stand right next to him. You can't leave him.
First of all, can I give you? I got yeses from both of them, but they just were like, I got to go do something right now. I'm going to come right back to you.
Right.
So who knows if it actually happens? But both of them said yes to me.
Well, so far you're 3 for 3 on someone saying no, not right now, but I'll be right back. One of them's having a snack.
Right. That's a go-to move. Like, hey, I got to go do something. I'll be back where you guys situated. Yeah. I stand right next to him. I don't move.
But as I walked away,
if he goes to the bathroom, I go to the bathroom. If he eats, I eat. That's how it works.
The reason I feel good about the David interaction is because as I walked away, he hit me with, wait, what was your name again? Chris? Okay, now I'll remember you.
Yeah, that's a good move.
He followed up with, wait.
Smart.
I do that all the time.
It's a heady play.
I forget immediately. I forget immediately. I'm terrible with names.
You should go back to him right now and ask him your name.
There was a dude yesterday that I swore his name was Phil.
Such a good bit.
I swore his name was Phil. I'm like, this seems like a name that I have to remember. I called him Phil. Later found out his name was Jeremy. It's just, I'm just so bad at it. I flew too close to the sun. I can't use any names.
One of the highlights last night was because Mark Mulder's here.
Yeah.
And Mike knows the games I like to play on Stupidity. And so Mike was like, if there was only a Scully here, so we could play Mulder or Scully. So if only Vin Scully was here, because there are no other Scullys.
Yeah. I've totally turned on it. Initially, it was one of my least favorite things about Stupidity.
Right.
The games that you would play where you were just clearly forcing puns with names.
Yeah.
And now I look forward to how ambitious you go with it. And we're playing with the Miz right now. We've already worked out Miz or Mizant.
Right.
All right.
Creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. It fits so perfectly.
Yeah, but
what do we do with Wells?
Well,
the S hurts.
Top shelf or Wells?
If it was well, you can go well or well not, right?
Ooh, well or well actually.
Well,
or no, that's not it.
Right.
We gotta work on these. I don't know how you're so good at it.
Well, Billy is.
Yeah. Well, he's not here. That seems to be a problem.
All right, so let's imagine we had David Carr and we wanted to try to
We're
play
gonna get
that.
them both. We should pause right now and then start again when they come back.
But if we wanted to play that game,
You
There's
pulled
David.
one.
Boomer!
Here, come on in.
Boomer!
Wow, Chris Cody.
They were doubting me on whether you were like.
No.
They thought you hit me with a fake yes.
Because I'm loose right now. Now I'm going to get all stiff.
No,
Boomer,
no.
you are. Listen to me. You take this thing very seriously, my friend. I am proud of you. You are in the zone right now.
Oh, this is just some eyewash right here. So, it's just look good for the crowd, and then but I pay for it later.
We have an important question to ask you. It's really the reason we wanted you on. Okay.
Oh boy.
We noticed last night at the players only meeting. Mm-hmm. No one works a fucking room like David Wells. What is the key to working a room?
You don't see your buddies for a year, so you got to go in there and talk a little crap, get in their head a little bit, say, hey, I'm here.
Right.
And
So it helps if you're friends with them. That's a good part of it. Yeah, because walking into that room, there's a fair amount of imposter syndrome, especially for guys like us. I kind of treated it like the first ever ladies' night I went to at college, where it's just grab a beer, head to the corner, and just give head nods.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you're running that thing.
But here's the thing. I learned early in my career, we'd always play the Orioles, and Cal Ripken was always so nice to me. I'm like, why is he so nice, inviting me for beers and doing all that? Because he wants to get friends with all the pitchers so they don't throw inside, and they feel he just wants to buddy up. Oh, he's my buddy. He's going to like me, sign a couple autographs. Then he takes you deep 2-3 times in the game. You're like, what the hell? Sorry about that. I'm going right under your chin. I learned the hard way, but that's what you do.
Little chin music, huh?
Yeah. So guys that you're going to compete against out here, you let them know. You're out here, you talk, and then as long as you go out and and back it up, then you're good to go.
Then all of a sudden,
you can't back that up. That guy's too good of a player.
Vinny Del Negro, defending champ, is strolling by right now. You're putting your money on Vinny, huh?
I got my money on Vinny.
I'm going to give you
myself and Vinny.
Wait, what place did you finish in last year?
20th.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a sneaky pick right now. Okay, it's his first year playing. Dwight Freeney. I played golf with Dwight Freeney, and I am telling you, he's a scratch golfer. Dwight Freeney could be a sleeper pick here this weekend.
Well, there's a lot of guys that come out here, and they could be a +5, and they'll poop the bed because they get nervous out here. They get the crowds like that, and if they're not used to it, and let me tell you, these greens aren't easy. These things,
I know, fast.
if you roll,
fast,
if you barely nip the edge, and it's rolling really slow, it'll spit it out 6 feet away, and then you got a knee knocker coming back, and you're going, what the hell's going on?
Right.
So unless you hit it right in the center of the cup, you're going to have a bad day.
Did that ever work, by the way? Ripken buying you beers and then you being soft on Ripken? Not with you.
No, I did.
You found yourself, really?
That's why you work a room sometimes and you get in these guys' That's what I'm telling you.
Wells, you are good.
Yeah. we gotta get under Del Negro. You gotta really work the charm with him, and then you just rip out his trachea like Roadhouse.
You try to, but he's such a nice guy, and he's free spirited. I don't think a whole lot of things bother him, but a lot of these guys out here, you'd be surprised. There's the machoism that they pose, and then they come out here and they're softies, and and then all of a sudden you see them whining a little bit because they hit a little bad shot. I golfed with Smoltzy a couple of years ago,
right?
And his shoulder was hurting a little bit. It was Roden, him, and I, and I go, guys, why are you bitching so much? You guys are not far from the lead, and you're sitting here crying. I'm struggling, and I'm having fun just watching you. So I'm gonna start ragging your butts a little bit, but it didn't work because I got worse as the day went on.
Was that because of beers or like?
No, I didn't have any beers.
No
but
beers.
I should have had them.
Right.
You need the swing lube once in a while, but try to keep it. If you're gonna have any, hide them. Don't let the camera see it.
Sure.
It's not good for TV.
Right.
But then again,
what items are you speaking of?
All the above.
I'll have them.
There's your sneaky pick right there.
Hey, Freeney, I just told David Wells you're a sneaky pick to win this thing, man. Well, I played with you, dude.
I'm a home course. That's what I'm comfortable with.
Dwight Freeney strolling by. Where are you going right now?
ESPN. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, excellent.
How are you, sir?
Excellent.
Pleasure. Welcome aboard. What up, pimp?
What up, pimp?
He's working it right now. He's already established the game plan.
Well, I know Trey real well. Him and Marshall Falk are really good buddies, and so I golf a lot with with Snake, aka Pimp.
Right.
And so, but he's got game too. So maybe he'll settle him down.
Wells, do you like baseball? Like this form, baseball in this current form, where starting pitchers are going. I don't even call them starters anymore. You're a guy who's notorious, okay? Whether you had your good stuff, whether it was the mediocre stuff, but you still won 8 innings, 9 innings, 7 innings. Now you have guys going 2 and 3 innings. They're soft, right?
100%. I don't like it, to be honest with you. I haven't watched baseball in 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
I just don't like. I just don't like it. I just think. I mean, there's a lot of money. God bless them for getting the money, but I think 90% of these players don't know who the hell the guys were in the 90s.
Yeah.
Let alone the 80s. But they just. It's a different breed right now. They're pampered a little bit. They're coddled, and you got to have that bulldog mentality. You look at Oral Hershiser. He was the epitome of that. He didn't care. He's just grinding it. And look what he did. And coach comes out, sit your ass right back in the dugout. I'm good out here. What are you going to tell me?
Yeah.
You're going to give me a breather? I know how to take a breather. I just walk back, tie my shoes, and then I get my little breather. But these days, it's like, wow, it's just so many changes, and they're bitching and complaining about speeding the game up. Well, you got so many changes. And umpires, the reviews, it's like, it's all eyewash. Now they want exit velocity, spin rate. It's all been there since the beginning of time.
Are you for the computerized umpiring system that we're headed towards?
Let me tell you something. I hated the umpires. I did not like them. They changed their strike zone a lot with me later in the game.
Right.
That pitch was a strike early in the game. Now it's a ball late in the game. But to their credit, they get it probably 95% of the calls they get are right. So it's kind of it's a...
Who's weighing it down? Angel Hernandez?
He's the absolute worst.
Thank you.
He might be a nice guy, but he's terrible on the field because I think it's all about him. And Joe West was, I never had a problem with Joe West, but you see Cowboy Joe, and I knew when I had him, you can't fight City Hall.
Yeah.
So you just stay away from Joe, let him do what it is. He'll come to you, eventually. But Angel he takes it a little too personal and all that stuff.
I do think that the shift and the corrections that they're going to make with that are going to bring some people back to the game because there's just...
Let Wells knows when it happens. He hasn't watched it in 4 years.
No.
I feel like I'm breaking it to him.
That strike zone you're talking about, he's never seen it before. He doesn't know, the electronic strike zone.
Well, for me, I want to watch it so much because I love the game. It's the greatest sport in the world.
And the Yankees are great.
Yeah, they're doing good. But my thing is that you got to let the players play sometime, and they got to figure out how to get out of trouble. Because I was telling some friends last night that the best pitcher I ever saw holding a one-run lead after the sixth inning was Tom Glavine. This dude pitched his butt off. He was sneaky, and he went out there, but he bared down. Maddox was the same way. All those guys were, and that's the guys you want to watch. How to hold a one-run lead into the game, and it's just like instead of having a 5-pitcher change coming in there, but you're just matchups, and you don't want the matchups. So to me, it's like you watch guys like that. These guys should watch. I was in the minor league, and my pitching coach in AA, Larry Hardy, handed me a beta. Remember the beta match? The tape?
Yes.
That's what we had back then, and he had a lot of footage of Steve Carlton. And Steve Carlton was one of my idols. Gator was number 1. Steve Carlton was number 2. And my mechanics were almost identical to Steve Carlton.
Yeah.
You can't implement Gator, man. He was so wiry and he was so great.
That's probably what you were getting at in terms of respecting the game and the people that came before. You modeled your game after absolute horses. The game has evolved so much that a starting pitcher isn't really going to watch David Wells tape to approach the modern game, and that's really a problem with it, I think.
100%. And you know what? And I learned by talking to hitters. They're on my team. I'm going up. Hey, what would you do in this situation if it was me? How am I going to get you out, or how do you think I'm going to get you out? I did that, but then my bullpen sessions were spot on. I took so much pride. Yeah, this D-Lo guy behind me. There's a sneaky
good
right there.
Another horse.
But another guy who would go 7, 8, 9. Yeah.
But to me, it's like you take your bullpen sessions and you take those out into the game when you start, and they're not all going to be, perfect. They're not all going to be great, but at least you're going to have. You throw strikes, you're going to stay in the game a lot longer. And these guys nibble.
We'll get you out of here on this note. A quick one. Manny Ramirez said recently that if Derek Jeter played for the Royals, he'd be just another guy. Your thoughts, David?
I don't think so. I think Derek's going to be great no matter where he went.
Really?
Yeah, he brought a lot to the field. He was a leader. He wasn't afraid to fail, and that's one of the things these guys today are afraid to fail. And Derek Jeter was a grinder. He wanted to be great. There's guys that you want to be good, you want to be okay. He had the mentality of, I want to be great, and I'm gonna, regardless of what team I'm on, who you surround me with. He's gonna get his. You look at Ichiro in Seattle.
Yeah.
He was a little punch and Judy, but he had power from time to time. But he got his, and he made things happen. And it didn't matter what Ichiro was on. He's going to get his 200 hits.
The legend is that Ichiro could have been like a 35 home run a year guy if he wanted to, but he was just exploiting the inefficiencies of like, you're going to give me the double, I'm going to hit a gapper whenever I want.
Well, so could Pete Rose, so could Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs. Those guys could have been 35, 40 home run hitters, but they were, situation. They wanted to get the RBIs.
Yeah.
They wanted to get their hits.
I miss that.
And be the top leaders. And now it's the exit velocity. It's the spin rate. They want to see balls hit out of the park instead of playing the small ball.
There's guys like Joey Gallo, and this career statistic blew my mind. He has 2 career sacrifice flies.
I love that.
2 career sacrifice flies.
And that's just the way the game's changing.
So
nobody bunts anymore.
So Manny's a jackass. I mean, those are my words, not your words.
Manny was a competitor.
But you don't attack Derek Jeter. I mean, who does that?
No, you don't. But the thing is, people have issues with certain people. Maybe they're jealous of them, but get over it. Give credit where credit is due. And Derek Jeter deserves a lot of credit because he rallied the guys around him. He fired guys up. Starting rallies. That's why they call him Mr. November. He could have been October and November. He could have really pissed off Reggie Jackson on Mr. October.
I think that's Manny's point, though. If he played for the Royals, there would be no Octobers.
Yeah, well, Manny played on a lot of good teams.
Yeah, and he did. David, thank you so much for being so gracious.
My pleasure.
Teaching us how to work a room.
Thank you, Boomer.
That's all right.
I'm a big-time fan of not just your game, but your game plan here.
I'm betting on Wells now.
Yeah.
No, don't.
No? In 20th place, David.
Just put me in the top 30. I'll be happy.
All right.
Good. All right.
That'd be good. But I'll go for top 10 this time.
All right, David. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
You're a legend, my man. Thank you.